If you must know, I broke up with the Satisfaction 75. We just grew apart. As the years passed, it just felt more and more dated. You know what's fresh? The Zoom75 EE, baby. Mellatrix did send this keyboard to me for free, but they didn't pay me, and I don't have a sponsor in this video. Like always, it's just going to be my honest thoughts. So, it's 2023. No one gives a damn about $500 group buys anymore. I don't want to spend that much money and then wait a year or more for a keyboard. We want cheap. We want fast, we want features. Just a regular old pour-on gasket 2-piece case with a brass weight ain't gonna cut it anymore. It may not even hit the minimum order quantity to even happen. Mellatrix is here to solve that problem. This is the Zoom75 EE. This is the latest iteration of their affordable gasket mount keyboards. They're under $200 and packed to the brim with features. Basically, their secret is they use cast aluminum rather than CNCing every single part to save some cost, and they don't include everything, but you can add all the things if you want it. What I have here is a silver GT1, which is a $20 extra if you want to get this color. It has a special coating on it that feels great, feels high quality. It has an internal weight that was another $20, but they really elevate the experience, and I really recommend this. So with their boards, they got Bluetooth wireless, they got dongle wireless, they got glass backs, and they got their weights. So it's really fancy looking and accessible for everybody. And there is shipping. I swear to God, if you bring up shipping one more time, I'm gonna start a feet OnlyFans. So I really like gasket socks, jackets, whatever, because the installation is really easy. You just slide it on, and if you mess up, you can just slide it on again. Some people may not like these boards because it is a China GB board, and over there, the trends are very different. They like their 1.2mm flex cut PCBs, very flexible. They still like their gasket mounts, and they use a lot of foams. And for me, I stand strong and test it without foams, so you know whether or not this is a foam board. Flex cut PCBs are fun to type on because it's flexible, bouncy, but often it yields a very quiet sound. I don't love the fact that the PCB is 1.2mm, but it is finally a non-flex cut PCB, at least for this unit, and that makes all the difference. I'll just give you a TLDR. We have another option in the entry-level market. Now we have a 75% keyboard. It has a lot more customization. This one specifically, you can do knob, you can do 2 keys, you can do knob and key, and you can do a screen or a badge. So plenty of options for customization, and you can switch between them so you're not stuck with one. You have E-coat, you have anodization, you have this nano coat in the silver GT unit, so there's plenty of color options. In the back you have regular aluminum weights, and you have PVD weights if you so desire. Of course it's going to cost more, but you can save money if you want to. Overall the look is great and the proportions are great. Basically a 65% with an F-row. There's no offset arrows and no exploded nav, so that it doesn't get ballooned out to almost a TKL size. It's actually a pretty small footprint, and I do like that. I got a mirror back, which is smudgy, and so is the aluminum weight, but it looks great. We'll talk about the looks. How does it sound? Honestly, I thought it would sound worse. The Zoom65 was okay. You kind of needed the foam. Zoom TKL was better, but you kind of needed the carbon fiber plate to give that full sound. The Zoom75 here with the PC plate and factory lubed Gateron Unknown switches from Divinikey, which are unwiped stem, ink bottom and nylon top switches. It sounded pretty solid. Not too clacky, not too deep, not too muted, just the right amount of sound and just the right amount of clack. That's how spacebar should sound. Like I said, I highly recommend the $20 internal SS weight upgrade because it makes it sound fuller, it makes it feel heavier, because otherwise you would have to use foam in there, and foam filling voids is just not great. So what makes the Zoom75 special? Well, other than looking great, it's this thing right here. This screen, baby. Don't worry about the 2-key F14 layout. It's kind of ugly. The badge, cool, you got customization, but not my preference. The knob and switch option though, that's especially terror bad, so if you like that, you should feel bad. I'm just kidding, preference. But yeah, it's kind of ugly. Honestly, the screen is the way to go. It just looks way more balanced, and it just looks like it belongs there, and it looks unique and special rather than just looking like any other keyboard. And you know what? Because this has this cool screen, I'm gonna keep this one. why would I get rid of it? I just don't have any of the boards with a screen. So overall, to prove to you that I'm not a shill, I got some cons, okay? Main con is they advertise $179, but that's just a black or white unit, no special colors. If you want colors, it's gonna be $199. And really, you want the internal weight upgrade, which is not $20, not too expensive, but still, the recommended configuration is probably $219 rather than starting at $179. If you want to save money, you can get $179. If you really want to consider spending a little bit more to get a nice full package so you don't get the itch to buy another keyboard. And in my opinion, the 2 key and the 1 key and knob look really ugly. The badge is okay, but the thing that sets this keyboard apart is the not really high resolution, but really nice quality screen. But unfortunately, we don't have the ability to use GIFs yet, or GIFs, or whatever, videos. So we have to wait a few months for them to implement that, and you will have to use a phone app. I know some people are not gonna like that. The prototype WuChui stabilizers were okay. The 2U sounded great, but the spacebar was ticking heavily. Dude, the WuChui stab is ticking like no other. It may be an installation issue, but I didn't have time to check. I don't really know. I would probably use a different spacebar stabilizer. And another con is that there is a lot of gap in the case, and I was told that was to account for different types of keycaps, so you really have to align your PCB and plate assembly so that it doesn't look too off on one side. There will be removable alignment pins in the production run. I just don't have that here. And of course, the elephant in the room is that it's a cheap keyboard made out of cast aluminum rather than CNC. Some pieces are CNC'd, but overall, it's gonna feel a little bit less kind of quality than a full CNC case. And of course, shipping may be expensive depending on where you buy it from. If you buy directly from Mellatrix, it may cost a lot in shipping, but they'll get it first. So you can decide. And if you want to buy, consider using my link in the description box below so you can help support me and the channel. In terms of pros, it's a very modern take on the 75, and I love the slim, small footprint. The screen is amazing. The sound is better than I expected, and I like the customization. And I just like the fact that it's actually getting better at every step of the way. Every time they make a keyboard, they're actually improving on it, rather than just copy pasting different layouts of the same design. So for $200-ish, I think it's a great package. My Unicorn, even at the cheapest, was still $400 for a 60% that has no cool features really. It's just a gummy O-ring mount that is accessible in a Bakaneka. Okay, my final thoughts, it's a buy if you don't have a 75% keyboard and you just want a fun option for it. Having a screen is really nice, and there's not a lot of keyboards that have screens. Matrix has a few options, but none of them are as big or as clear as the one in this keyboard. You can have your 6% keyboard for gaming, a TKL keyboard for work, and this 75% keyboard for everything else. Or you can just have this one keyboard, cover almost everything, not have a lot of extra keys, and just be done. This is a great package, and I can honestly feel that I would use this, which is why I picked this color. I saw the specs, I saw the features, I was like, hey, this is something I'm really actually interested in. Let's not just pick a random color for the video. And the silver GT with GMK Muted is shmoney, man.